So hey guys, what's up? I'm back with another video. So in today's video, I want to talk about how you are not replaceable, and certain people who may have treated you wrong or did not recognize or realize what they had in their hands when they had you, whether it's any type of relationship. Now that you have moved on, now that you have let go, now that you are not no longer coming back, they recognize who and what you meant to them, and you are not replaceable. And I know a lot of times when you're dealing with people, they try to, you know, well, not everyone, toxic people. They try to lower your self-esteem. They try to tell you what you're not. They try to tell you what you need to do. Oh, you need to lose weight. Oh, you need to do this. Oh, you need to do that. They talk about you. They downplay who you are and the role that you played past tense in their lives. And now they see that you are gone. Now that you're gone, that you are not replaceable. They have tried to replace you. They have gone out there and dealt with other people, thinking that everyone will be like you and they will never ever have another you in their lives. So they always constantly think back on the conversations that you and that person had, or the experiences that you guys had, the way you laugh, the way you move, the way you do things, and they know that they can never come back in your presence. It's never going to be the same. And for you, you have moved on, you have forgiven, you have worked on yourself. If you're still working on yourself, keep going. But you are in a space where you're no longer that person anymore. You're no longer allowing people to come into your life, disrespect you, downplay who you are, try to manipulate you, try to, do all these disgusting things these unhealthy, toxic, hateful people do. And you are over it. So you've moved on. You said, I have to love myself more than I love this friendship. I have to love myself more than I love this relationship. I have to love myself more than I love my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my cousin, my auntie, my uncle, whomever else that it is in your life, your godmama, I don't know, your stepmama, I don't know who it is, your dog, not saying, not the dog. But you have to, when you begin to love yourself, you don't even desire these people anymore, but they constantly desire you. But they don't know how much you have elevated, or they see how much you have elevated, and they know that you're not coming back. So all they can think about is what they did, how they could have did something differently. But you like, I don't want to hear it. You should have had me. You should have treated me right when you had me. And this is what you're telling these people. So now you're moving on to healthier friendships. And these people may not be your blood sister and brother, but they're closer to you than blood is. So you just have to keep pushing. You have to let go. And the one thing that I have learned, and I'm still learning today, is if they do not see your worth, it's nothing on you. It's nothing that you could have done differently. It's nothing that you have done wrong. They just didn't see you, or they pretended not to, and that's okay. You pack your stuff up and you move on. You move on to someone who loves you, who's not gonna play about you, someone who's not gonna play games with you. You move on. And I know it's easier said than done, but what are you going to do? You're gonna stay in that relationship, or stay in that toxic friendship, or stay around certain toxic family members just for the name's sake, even though it's tearing you up mentally, even though you're crying, even though you're suffering? You're gonna stay around these people because of what? Or you can just get yourself and move on, and still love these people and forgive these people. And some people, like as in family, some people can change, and you guys can rebuild that relationship later on down the line. But right now, what is the best thing that you have to do for yourself in this moment right now? What do you have to do? What are you going to do? What choices are you going to make? Stop allowing people to mistreat you for titles. Stop allowing people to mistreat you because you don't love yourself, or because you didn't receive that love from your mother or from your father. Because what's going to happen is eventually one day you're going to begin to heal. And as you heal, you're going to change, and you're going to recognize and understand that I got with these people or this person when I was at my lowest. Now I'm ready. I'm changing mentally. I do not, I no longer associate with this pain anymore because I'm doing the work to better myself, to better my life. I'm building my relationship with God. I'm going to therapy, counseling. I'm getting a life coach. You know what I mean? So now that pain that you was operating in is this person, and you could try to bring people along with you, and sometimes people are not ready when you're ready. So you have to make a decision. Is it going to be me or you? Am I going to put you over my life? Or I'm going to start putting myself first because I deserve it. So that's why I always say that it's not a good thing to connect with certain people when you are in a bad space in your life, because pain recognize pain, and pain hang out with pain. Healed people hang out with healed people. So you're shifting and you're changing, and you're ready to move forward and you're ready to do the work. But the person you're with or the people that you are a part of are not in that space. So sometimes you have to separate yourself. And sometimes those people can look at you and your healing and your journey, and then they can, begin to say, okay, well, this person came from the same environment I came from. I grew up with this person. Maybe this person is my brother, my sister, my auntie, my uncle, whoever. It could be your grandma looking at you. I don't care who it is. And they can see that you're healing, that you're building your relationship with God, and they're interested in how are you becoming so peaceful? How are you so happy after everything that we've been through? You know? And then they can say, well, let me try this God that you know. But until they get there, you can't force them. You can't make them do anything. You have to keep them in prayer, but you have to move on with your life. You can't pick them over God. You can't do that. And anyone that listen, if you are a believer, okay, anyone that come into your life and it's not equally yoked, meaning they don't believe in the same thing that you, and this is just my perspective, listen, just my perspective, and they don't believe in the same thing you believe in, or they're not healed, or they don't want to do the work, but you've been putting in this work the whole time. For years, you've been putting in work. Sometimes you have to say, no, not right now. This relationship is not for me. This situation is not for me. And you have to have the strength to move on. I think that so many people are afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of new things. They're afraid of what's on the other side of the mountain, like I always say. But are you going to stay comfortable for the rest of your life, or are you going to explore? You're going to trust God and have faith, even if it's a mustard seed of faith. Are you going to go and be curious and see what God has for you? Or are you going to stay in that same spot? And listen, some people like to stay in toxicity. Some people think it's cute. Some people think it's fun. That's who they want to be. That's fine. Again, you can't make these people do anything that they don't want to do. But for you in your life, who are you serving? And what are you going to do? Because when it's time to get in front of our Maker at the end of life, you have to answer to things. You are responsible for things. Especially things about your own self. Especially not with nobody else, but with you in your life. God can be saying, I was calling you to be a youth leader, but you were too afraid of what people were going to say about you. I was calling you for the men. I was calling you to be a pastor, a preacher, but you was too afraid of what your friends and your family may have thought about you. You know? So you have to get out of that those chains of what people's going to think about you. Because at the end of your life, it don't matter. They gonna think what they gonna think. Even when you dead and gone, they gonna still think what they want to think about you. So what are you going to do for yourself? What do you think about you? How do you feel about you? And how do you feel about where God is taking you? And what are you going to sacrifice in order to get to that spot where God wants you to be? Because it's going to be a sacrifice. You're going to give up something. In fact, you're going to give up a lot. But what are you going to give up? Give up and still move forward and have that faith and walk and know that God is going to work it all out even when you are unsure. What are you going to give up? You're going to sacrifice something if you want something. Okay? So stop worrying about these people who don't like you, who don't see you for who you are. Stop worrying about these people who talking about you. So what? Let them talk. The good thing about it is God's blessing is not attached to their emotions and how they feel about you, because if that's the case, will nobody be blessed? If we go off our own emotions and what someone else feel about us, none of us will have nothing, because it's gonna always be somebody who don't like us, always be somebody somewhere. You could be the nicest, sweetest person in the world. You could be that you can give somebody the shirt off your back, they still don't like you. Or you could tell somebody no for the first time, and everything, all the yeses, and everything you have done before for them, it all went out the window. So that's why you can't be concerned about people and how they feel about you. You got to be concerned about your own journey and where Christ is taking you. So with that being said, if it's time to let go, let go. Stop holding on to it. Stop holding on to it, because we're going into another year. You gonna do this a whole nother year? The same thing? Or you gonna say, I'm tired. This is my last year dealing with this. This is my last year dealing with the disrespect. This is my last year dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with. And you're gonna say, I want better for myself, and it starts with me. And you're gonna start making the moves to do better for your own self and for your own life. Nobody is responsible for you, and you're not responsible for anyone unless you have kids or you married, or you know what I mean. That's a different story. But still, again, you have to be your best self to show up for everyone else. Stop letting these people drain you and take advantage of you, out of the name of love, out of the name of whatever attachment you have to these people. So it's time, and I hope that you get this message, and I hope that you make moves to better your life, because I know you can do it, but you have to know. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next video.